Brahmanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Natu mam shakyase drashtum anenaiva chakshusha divyam dadami te chakshu pashyame yogamaishara. This is 11th chapter of Bhagavad-gita as it is. If you would check your phones, by the way, to see that your phone is in silent mode.
11th chapter, which verse?
Oh, it's 8. 11:8. The Arjuna is already convinced that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But for the benefit of others, he asks Lord Krishna, could you please show me your Vishvarupa, the form by which everything is seen within the body of the Lord. Please could you show me the Vishvarupa? And Krishna agrees, yes, I can pashyame partarupani, you can see everything here. But you can't see it with your svachakrusha, with your own material eyes. That won't be possible. So, divyam dadami te chakshu. So I'll give you special eyes, special eyes, divyam, divine eyes, transcendental eyes, by which you'll be able to see my yogamaishwaram, my inconceivable mystic power. One might think that, well, the universal form is so great that one needs special eyes to see it. And that's certainly a valid understanding. But Srila Prabhupada's purport is very interesting. He points out that the devotee doesn't want to see the universal form. He's not accustomed to seeing Krishna as being great and all-powerful and full of divine opulence, but he wants to see Krishna in his loving feature. Devotees who are correctly situated in a transcendental relationship with Krishna are attracted by loving features, not by a godless display of opulences. The playmates of Krishna, the friends of Krishna, the parents of Krishna never want Krishna to show his opulences. They're so immersed in pure love that they don't even know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In their loving exchange, they forget that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it's stated that the boys who play with Krishna are all highly pious souls, and after many, many births, they're able to play with Krishna. Such boys don't know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They take him as a personal friend. Therefore, Shukadeva Goswami recites this verse, Itam Satam Brahma Sukhanubhutya dasyam gatanam paradaivatena maya ashritanam naradarakena sakam vijahru krishna kritapunya punja. Here's the Supreme Person who's considered the impersonal Brahman by great sages, the Supreme Personality of Godhead by devotees, and a product of material nature by ordinary men. Now these boys, who've performed many, many pious activities in their past lives, are playing with that Supreme Personality of Godhead. Well, this is the nature of the devotees. They relish having a very intimate relationship with Krishna. Even Arjuna, he's also Krishna's friend, although there are two levels of friendship. Hare Krishna. One level of friendship is the one Prabhupada has just talked about. In that relationship, the boys who are playing with Krishna, they just think of Krishna as their friend. They play with Krishna, they tease Krishna. Sometimes in competitive sports, they'll divide into teams, and the losing team has to carry the winners on their shoulders, and Krishna's on the losing team. And so he has to carry the winners, carry a winner on his shoulders. Well, this is complete friendship without any formality whatsoever. And in Goloka Vrindavan we find that relationship. There's another kind of relationship where there's a little respect. That we find in Arjuna. He's friends with Krishna, but there's a little respect in the relationship also. Maybe there's sometimes some consciousness that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or at least that Krishna is my superior friend. But still, it's a friendly relationship. Therefore, later in the 11th chapter, Arjuna will say that we used to eat together and joke together, lie down together, just like ordinary friends. I didn't realize that you're the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so please forgive me for whatever offenses I may have committed out of madness or out of love. So two kinds of friendship. But in any case, that relationship is there. And it's not this kind of relation. What's not doesn't involve what we're about to see in this chapter, a grand form in which everything in the universe is present in Krishna's body. I was just at a program last night, and there was one fellow, his philosophy, he heard it from some Swamiji and he thought it was very good, was that every one of us is also Bhagavan. We just haven't realized it. Everything is within us, and just all that's lacking is realization. When we have realization, then we'll see that everything is within us. But why am I lacking this realization? If I'm Bhagavan, how have I forgotten that I'm Bhagavan? It must be due to Maya, illusion, in which case illusion is more powerful than Bhagavan, which makes no sense because the definition of Bhagavan is that he's the supreme. No one is superior to him. So I'm Bhagavan, so everything is within me, I just don't realize it. This is all nonsense. When I realize it, then it's within me. No. Krishna is great and we're small. Therefore, if you ask me to show my universal form, I can't show it. Nor can I give you divine eyes by which you can see it. Krishna can do that. Krishna can do that. So Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And just to, as a challenge to these jokers, Krishna shows the universal form. So anyone who claims to be an incarnation of God, of whom there are many, unfortunately, can be asked, please show me your Vishvarupa. And then they'll say something like, I'm showing you, but you can't see it. You know the story of the emperor's new clothes. Yeah. The clothes are made of gold, you just can't see it. So in this way, cheating, bluffing, I'm actually supreme, just a question of realization. No, Krishna is actually the personality of Godhead, and he shows this universal form, full of all the demigods are there, everything past, present, and future is there, all the cosmic manifestation is there, everything is seen. Tatrai kastam jagat krishnam pravibhaktam anekatha. Everything was, from all the diverse parts of the universe, were present in one place before Arjuna. No one can even imagine. Or maybe we can imagine, but we can only imperfectly imagine. But Arjuna was actually seeing this universal form of Krishna. But Prabhupada's comment is that actually it wasn't very important. When I first read Bhagavad-gita, and probably it's the general tendency, the most important part, the apex of the Bhagavad-gita is the 11th chapter where Krishna shows the universal form. There's nothing more great than this. But for the devotee, the universal form is less important. Prabhupada comments, the devotee is not concerned with seeing the universal form. But Arjuna wanted to see it to substantiate Krishna's statements, so that in the future, people could understand that Krishna not only theoretically or philosophically presented himself as the Supreme, but actually presented himself as such to Arjuna. So, just to prove the point, as it were, Arjuna wants Krishna to please show the universal form. Otherwise, he wasn't very concerned with the universal form. Is like, what do I want to see that for? Just like a child. Prabhupada gave the example of the universal form. Suppose there's some child, young child, and his father's a policeman. So the father will have a gun, the father will have, maybe sometimes riot gear, all of these things. Then when he's out there doing his job, he may have his gun blazing and be, fearsome, powerful, but fearsome. But for the child, this is not what he wants to see. He doesn't want to see his father come home for dinner, with a gun blazing and up against the wall and all of that. No, he wants to have a loving relationship, a sweet, affectionate relationship with the father. Even though he may know that my father is a policeman, he doesn't want to see all that stuff that his father may have to show on the street. Because his relationship with the father is a loving relationship. So Arjuna is like that with Krishna. There is, he knows, he's asking that Krishna is everything, that Krishna includes everything, that everything's within Krishna. But that's not what Arjuna ultimately wants to see. Arjuna wants to have loving exchanges with Krishna as a heart-to-heart friend. And we find that in the Bhagavatam. It's said that Krishna is so kind that he served as the friend of the Pandavas, their well-wisher, their guard, when there was a need for someone to go as a Shantidut, peace messenger to the Kauravas, then Krishna agreed to go. So he was practically controlled by the love of the Pandavas. But he could show these things. That's Krishna. So ordinary readers may take it as the apex, the most important, most impressive part of the Bhagavad-gita. But the devotees are more interested in the developing a loving relationship with Krishna. When you see the universal form, you can be impressed, but how long can you go on like that, seeing innumerable faces, innumerable arms, seeing everything in one place, seeing all the enemy soldiers rushing like moths into the flaming mouths of the universal form? Arjuna said, I'm losing my equilibrium. Enough. Please withdraw this universal form. And then Krishna resumed his Somya Vapu, his very agreeable, sweet form, Somya Vapu. Somya Vapu. That you can go on seeing and seeing. When you have that loving relationship with Krishna. Universal form you can see for a short while, but then you'll say, please, withdraw this form. Because where's the relationship? So, actually the more important form is the form of Krishna. It's Krishna who showed the universal form. It's not that the universal form manifested as Krishna, but Krishna displayed the universal form just to fulfill the request of Arjuna, just to show that actually he's the personality of Godhead. So this Krishna form is the highest, the original, the most attractive. And the universal form is a temporary form. Actually, when you think about the universal form, and it's mostly material stuff. Krishna is showing the sun, Sashi Surya Netram, the sun and the moon are my eyes, all the demigods are there, all the this, all the that. That means all material manifestations. All the material manifestations Krishna is showing. But the devotee is not interested in the material manifestations. He is interested in Krishna's spiritual form. Therefore, the spiritual form is more important than the universal form, however impressive. The one just side note about the universal form is that one time a devotee asked Srila Prabhupada, I think I was there. Sometimes my memory gets clouded about whether I was there or whether I heard. Right? Does that happen? Yeah, we don't remember whether we heard it personally or whether we heard it from someone else. It starts to merge. But I think I may have been there. Someone asked Prabhupada, is the universal form just for this one universe? Because we understand from Vedic literature, Brahma Samhita and Bhagavatam, that there are innumerable universes. Hare Krishna. We're living just in this one universe, but there are innumerable universes in the cosmic manifestation. Each one of them with its own Brahma, with its own setup of so many planets. So one devotee asked Srila Prabhupada, this universal form, is it just for this one universe, or does it encompass all the universes? Prabhupada said, one universe is enough for you. One universe is enough for you. Govindamadi Purusham Tamahang Bhajami. So let's see if there's some questions, some comments, some discussion. Yes?
So, is the
Pass this over.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
So in the purport, it says Arjuna is the beginning of the parampara,
Yes, it says that.
right? So parampara, isn't it continued by disciplic succession through initiation process? Even Krishna himself got initiated to show the example. So I'm just curious, Arjuna got initiated at the battlefield, that moment of turning the relationship from friends to teacher.
Yes. The Prabhupada comments that Arjuna wants to confirm Krishna's identity because Arjuna is the beginning of the parampara system. But we thought that parampara means initiated, and it comes down in the line that way. Parampara means one after another. So it's a line of succession. Arjuna actually became the disciple in the second chapter. Krishna didn't say, all right, what rules do you agree to follow? How many rounds do you agree to chant? And now your name is Arjuna. Hare Krishna, come on in, there's space for you. But Arjuna surrendered. Shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam. Now we've been talking as friends, but now, there's a little more space. There you go. But now I want to talk with you very seriously, admitting that I don't know what is what. Dharma samutta ceta. I'm confused about my duty. What should I do? So now I surrender as your disciple. And Krishna accepted, yes, you've been speaking just like a fool, even though posing as a learned man. So the relationship doesn't have to be set up by formal initiation. In this way, just like Rupa Goswami, Sanat Goswami, there wasn't an initiation ceremony, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted them. He changed their names also. So there's the formal process. Generally we want the formal process. Otherwise things get, hazy, and all sorts of things go on. But the essence is not just the performance of a ceremony. The essence is the relationship. The acceptance by the disciple that, yes, I surrender. And the acceptance by the spiritual master, yes, I agree to instruct you. So by that process, Arjuna becomes the disciple of Krishna. And although there's not a line of, all right, Arjuna's disciple is this person, but we're all following Arjuna. He's the original exemplar of the proper student of Bhagavad-gita. Sarvame tadritam manye yanmam vadasi Keshava. My dear Keshava, Krishna, I fully accept everything that you've said. So this is Yes, in this way. Is that okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
So the devotees are not encouraged to put importance or worship their universal form, but could the materialists be encouraged to worship the material form and get some benefit, some realization from that?
The devotees aren't interested in worshiping the universal form, but could the materialists benefit? Yes. In the second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there's a different sort of depiction of the universal form, similar in some ways, in which the universe is essentially mapped to the body of the Lord. So the lower planets are his feet, the middle planets are near his waist, the upper planets are his head, the mountains are his bones, the songs of the birds are his voice, the rivers are his veins, and so on. So that all the entire cosmic manifestation is imagined to be the body of the Lord. So there's a universal form in which the entire universe is seen as the Lord's body. And this worship or adoration of this universal form is recommended for the beginners because their whole consciousness is on matter. They're just thinking about this material world. They're thinking about material things. So, all right, you're just like scientists. They're all, studying rocks and clouds and what have you. So, all right, you think of this material world, but think of it this way. Think of it as the body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, in that way, by thinking of material things, their mind is led to the form of the Lord. In the beginning, we think that there is no Lord, or that the Lord has no form. So the materialist is encouraged. You think of this universe as being God's form. Even these days, there's some, what are these Gaia people? They have the idea that the earth is divine and that the earth is maybe God, and so, all right, somehow or other, they're earth lovers, but if they think of the earth as being a form of God, then there's a chance they can become God lovers. If they're properly guided. Otherwise, they just get confused. Which is the general case. But if one is properly guided, yes, you think of this material world, but think of it this way, and your consciousness will become a little purified, and then you can go beyond this material conception and think of the transcendental body of the Lord. So it's recommended as an early stage in the second canto. Is that okay?
Yeah, in the 9th chapter, verse 15, we have Jnana Yagena Chapyanyeya Janto Mam Pasate Ekatvena Pradatvena Bahuda Vishwa.
Yeah.
Others who engage in the sacrifice of cultivation of knowledge worship the Lord as one without a second, as diverse and many, and in universal form. So in the purport, Prabhupada explains that those are lower forms of worship of Krishna.
What verse is that, by the way?
9:15.
9:15, yeah. Ekatvena Pradatvena Bahuda Vishvato Mukham. Ekatvena Pradatvena Bahuda Vishvato Mukham. Yeah, this is coming right after Satatam Kirtiyanto Mam Yatantas Chadridha Vritaha Namasyantas Tamam Bhaktya Nityukta Upasate. Mahatmanas tumam partha diving prakritimashita. The Mahatmas, the great souls, are always chanting my glories. They're always serving me. Hare Krishna. This is the position of the great souls, the Mahatmas. Then, Jnana Yagyena Chapi Anye. Then there are others. So others can be taken that we've told you about the great soul, and here's some other people. That means they're not such great souls. Anye, they're others. Or, if we're more charitable, we'll say, all right, there are other great souls. But there are others. They're like the second line. They're not the first class great souls. Either they're non-great souls or they're lesser great souls. Take it whichever way you will. But the pure devotees are the truly great souls. Then there are these others. They perform Jnana Yagya. That means they try to understand God philosophically or by philosophy and worship Him that way. Or Ekatvena Pratakttvena. Bahuta Vishvatomukam. Ekatvena Pratakttvena means they try to see all the different demigods as being manifestations of God, so they worship these various demigods, thinking that in some way they're all identical with God. Or they, although it's not directly mentioned here, they worship themselves as God, aham grahopasana, because aham brahmasmi, I'm spirit, and God is known to be spirit, so I'll worship myself as being divine. And for the rank beginners, that may be recommended. All right, think of yourself as being divine, because right now you're thinking of yourself as being this body, as being just matter. So think of your own divinity. Oh, in the beginning that's all right, but then at some point it has to dawn on him that, all right, I may be divine, but everyone is divine, and there's some divinity superior to the rest of us. So in this way he can come to understand that he's the lesser divine, or that he's just only a spark of the entire divine, complete divine.
That's exactly what Prabhupada says in the purport.
Oh, okay.
So,
And then finally Bahuda and Vishvatamukha. Vishvatamukha means the person whose faces are everywhere. So that's the universal form. So yes, these are also accepted, but they're not on the higher level.
But Maharaj, in this...
just a second. It's hard for me to get up.
Do I have to press this?
No, it's on. It will amplify you, but it gets
So
your
in
voice.
this case, Krishna, in the universal form, bestows the materialist demand or whatever they want, through which a deity, or he does it through himself.
Krishna himself is standing before Arjuna on the chariot, and they're having a discussion, and Arjuna says, can you show me this form? And Arjuna says, and Krishna says, yes, I'll show it to you, but I have to give you these transcendental eyes. So no deity worship is required, no other process. Krishna just says, here, divyam dadami, I'll give you, divyam dadami te chakshu, I'll give you spiritual eyes so that you can see.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I have this question regarding the spiritual eyes.
Spiritual eyes, yes.
So once Arjuna has received that, this spiritual eyes and sees everything like Krishna Bhagavan, then after that what might have happened to that spiritual eye? Would that be retained in his body, and was he able to carry it out further to tell others? Or
He could tell, but what happened to the spiritual eyes? They're not like physical eyes, like these days we have virtual reality, and you put on these goggles and now the whole world looks different. So it's not like that Krishna says, okay, take these goggles and you'll see the universal form. In fact, Prabhupada says, if I'm not wrong, let's see. 11. Yeah, Krishna gave Arjuna a change of vision. He gave Arjuna a change of vision. He could do that. It wasn't, sort of what is the word? A physiological adjustment. That check into Mount Sinai Hospital and they'll do this and that and then come back and see me. But Krishna gives Arjuna divine vision. All right, I'll give you, eyes means vision. So I'll give you spiritual vision, you'll be able to see. Even the transcendental original form of Krishna can't be fully seen except if Krishna displays that form.
So because the spiritual eye was given only to Arjuna, were there any other person to say that he has seen, that Arjuna has seen it? So what?
It's mentioned that the demigods and the higher planets were also able to see it when Arjuna saw it.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Sanjay also.
Excuse me?
Sanjay?
Sanjay?
Yeah. Did he see
Yeah, Sanjay also was able to describe. Although it said that it's not directly stated that Sanjay could. No, he says, Rajan samsmritya ityad bhutam hare vismaya vishto. At the end of the Bhagavad-gita, Sanjay says, remembering this universal form, I'm struck with wonder again and again. So Sanjay was also able to see. Rishyami cha puna puna muhu muhu.
I will ask. So then, why did Arjuna say, please take it away?
Because it's not where his real desire was. He doesn't want to go on for the rest of his life seeing the world in this tumultuous, cataclysmic form. He said he was struck with fear by seeing this form. So again, just like the child, he doesn't want to see the father with these guns and what do they call that? What is that horn called? Bullhorn. Doesn't want to see the father with the bullhorn and the guns and all of that. He wants to see the father in his affectionate feature, playing with his son. That's what he wants to see. He doesn't want to see that the violence and display of raw power. He wants to see love. Okay.
So we were talking about the universal form, and in chapter 9:15, that verse, it mentioned Ekadvena, the monist. I think evidently that's the demonic realization.
Ekatvena, Prataktvena, they see.
There's two different, Ekadvena and Prataktvena, those are ways to see in many. And that's the demigod worshippers.
Yeah.
And then the Abhishtatamukha are those who see the universal form
Yes.
in nature. So evidently the universal form, there must be different flavors of universal form.
there are different kinds of universal forms. We mentioned in the second canto, universal form is shown. There's also a universal form shown to Duryodhana. When Krishna went as a peace messenger, then Duryodhana became aggressive and wanted to arrest Krishna. He ordered Krishna arrested. And then Krishna showed a universal form. That's different from the one here because Arjuna says, Adrishta purvam rishtosmi drishtva. I'm now seeing a form which is Adrishta purvam, never seen before. So something more was shown to Arjuna than shown to, for a small timer like Duryodhana, there was no need for Krishna to show the whole business, just enough to, what would we say, knock him off his feet, to show him what a nonsense he was. But a still grander form is shown to Arjuna. Yashodamayi also, she saw the entire universe within the form, within the mouth of Krishna.
And also that when he cut off the head of some, I forgot the name.
Shishupal?
Shishupal. At that time also, didn't he show?
No. But he did manifest his chakra.
Yeah.
So Maharaj, when Lord Krishna had shown universal form to Duryodhana, was he able to see it? Because he might not have got that divine...
No, he could see.
Was he? So he was able to see with the...
That was the point.
Was he able to see the plain eyes?
Was he able to see?
With the normal eyes?
Yes, well, normal eyes, certainly it wasn't normal, but Krishna showed. Now exactly what Krishna has to adjust to show it, that's another story, how he does it. It's not mentioned that I know of. But certainly Duryodhana was able to see it because that was the point. It was, as we say these days, in your face. That
He called him Mayavi. That's when Duryodhana called him Mayavi.
Mayavi,
Yeah.
a trickster.
Yeah, trickster.
Yeah. So you can insult me all you want, but your soldiers can't do anything because I'm not going to appear just like a prince that you can put your soldiers on, but I'll appear with great power and opulence of the controller of the universe. So they had to see it, otherwise it would have no effect. Just like a policeman, he's undercover policeman. He says you're under arrest. You say get off it. Then he flips his badge. Uh-oh. Now you can see. He shows his credentials. So that's meant for you, so that you know it's serious business. He doesn't. So Arjuna is showing. Or sometimes, what are those unmarked cars? They're sitting there in a pit next to the highway. And then all of a sudden his lights start flashing and you see the whole story. Now you know you're in trouble. So why are they showing that? It's to show that the full authority of the state is behind me. You thought I was just a car by the side of the road. This is the traffic police of the state of New York. And you were going at 70 in a 55-mile zone, and now you're in trouble. So unless you see those lights, what's the point of having them? So Krishna certainly manifested that partial universal form to Duryodhana.
Hare Krishna. Maharaj, we know when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came in this world, that time Sri Jayadvaita Acharya, he did offer Tulsi in Ganga, and that time he requested Krishna to come. And the way we got Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But the Kali Yoga, the way the rascals, Prabhupada said rascals many times, and the way politicians ruin the world, and it's coming disaster day after day. And is there any way, because we all are children of Krishna, so we don't want to see Krishna with the weapons and everything, but the situation, is it Krishna is going to come again to destroy those demons? And
he comes again, given the world situation. Does Krishna come again? He comes again at the end of Kali Yuga, but that's 430 some odd thousand years from now. But meanwhile, Kali Kale Namarupe Krishna Avatar. Krishna comes in the form of Harinam.
so we already get the incarnation. We already have incarnation going on.
Yes. So therefore this Nam Rup should be spread, this chanting of Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
That will change the whole world atmosphere.
In Mahabharata, it mentions that after seeing the universal form, Duryodhana remarked to his cohorts that Krishna showed some yoga.
Yeah, well, that's what you were saying.
Oh, yeah.
That he
Showed some trick.
he showed some trick.
Tricks. Yeah.
This is the attitude of the demons. It's quotation is there in Nectar of Devotion. That Kamsa was railing against Krishna. I may have killed some water snake, but why should I be afraid of him? Avajananti ma murta. The fools, rascals, as Prabhupada would say, deride Krishna. They think they'll find some way. Oh, he's just a trickster. Oh, he just killed some water snake. Oh, he's, some way. What is that? The proverb, Bangla proverb? Shakuni Shap Guru Morena?
Means if any vulture curse, then the cow is not going to die, because vulture is waiting to eat cow.
Yeah.
But
There's-
he's cursing, you die, so I can eat.
For days and days together, the vulture is flying around and he's not getting anything to eat. So he sees a cow and he's cursing the cow, you should die, you should die. But it's not that because the Shakuni, the vulture, is cursing the cow, that the cow has to die. So they're deriding God, he's just a magician, there's no God, God is dead. Or what was that other one? That he just killed a water snake, this, that, just to minimize. He's just a myth. So they can go on like that. Shishupal insulting Krishna so many times. But it's not that Krishna has to become less because some fool is deriding Krishna. Krishna finally says, Amrityu sarvaharam chaham. I come as death. And then what will you say after that? So Krishna has the last word. Mrityu sarvaharascha. You think what you want. And that's shown in the universal form. Kalosmi lokakshaya krit pravritto. I appear in the form of time, and I destroy everything. So this is Krishna. But the fool's always just a magician.
Hare Krishna. So the universal form is possessed by Krishna, owned by Krishna, displayed by Krishna. But then in the purport, Srila Prabhupada described that the devotees are not interested in this godless opulence.
Yeah. Godless, the devotees are not interested in this godless opulence. It's an unusual use of the term. But what should we say? This, I would look at the manuscript actually rather than the dictionary. God, it's just what's the word? God is, actually our understanding of God is that God is full of affection for the devotees, He's full of love for the devotees. So the devotees don't want to see this big show of power and majesty and material aishwarya, opulence. They want to see God in His loving feature. They don't want to, that's essentially the thrust of this statement, that He's not interested in seeing this just raw power. They want to see Krishna.
The reality of the material universe is the creation and destruction of millions and millions of material bodies, which
Yeah.
Arjuna could see all at once.
Yeah.
So of course it was horrifying, and that is the material energy.
Yeah.
So in that sense, maybe we could say
Yeah.
it is separate from Krishna or God within the spiritual world.
Yeah. Yeah. Bahuvam bhavega. I see all the everyone entering into you the way waves enter into the ocean, the way moths enter into a fire. So that's not, in that sense, godless. It's a display of God's power. And display of, or we can say impersonal in a certain way, just like the engineer is pulling a switch. You don't see the engineer, you just see that whatever it is, the bomb is going off or what have you. But we don't want a relationship with that sort of thing. We want to talk to the man himself and have some exchange and so on.
What Prabhupada says in the purport is directly here. Devotees who are correctly situated in transcendental relationship with Krishna are attracted by loving features, not by a godless display of opulence.
Yeah.
That's what he says in the purport.
Yeah. Hare Krishna. Now, where do we stand on time? Do we go till 7:15?
Yeah, it's time for,
Time for the arti.